What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of The Tea with KG, and I have another amazing guest with me, Crystal. Woo, woo, woo.
Hello, everyone. Wave is waving cool. Like, I feel
Totally
like that's
cool.
what everyone does now.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything works here. I'm like, you can just show up as you are and do what you want.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you
We're
so much.
so excited to have you. Oh my God, I love your background setup. Look at all your goodies.
Thank you. It's a little crazy right now. So usually everything's like color coordinated, small, medium, large, like everything's in size. So anytime I do a market, it just like stuff is flying. Like, you know, in cartoons when you just see
yeah.
it up in the air, that's literally what it's like. It's nuts.
I love that. I have the best visual right now.
So it's a little crazy, but I mean, whatever. It's beautiful chaos, I think. So
Yes. Oh my God, it looks good to me. I'm like, I want to go shopping.
pick off the rack. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God, if I was closer, that would be my jam. I love touching things, and like when I shop, I'm that girl. I'm touching it all. I'm like, okay, what does this feel like? It's so good.
Finally, yeah, sensory. I love it.
Yay. Well, we are so excited to have you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us. I'm so excited for this.
Yay.
Awesome. So this is my beautiful friend, Crystal, and we're just going to do a little intro here. We'll do the same old thing, the who are you and what do you do?
Okay, well, just here, just kidding. So my name is Crystal, and I am 37. Oh my gosh, I had to think about it. I feel like once you pass a point, you just have no idea how old you are anymore. I'm like
100%. Like
I'm
my
like,
birthday's next week, and I'm like, how old am I again?
so crazy. I live in Ontario, in a little town, well, not really, it's a small town, but a town called Barrie.
Yeah.
Hour north of Toronto, just for people out there who may not know. But yeah, I guess, I mean, I'm in the automotive industry, which you wouldn't really think because I have business here. So like creative and tie-dye and everything, but I just kind of fell into it and just I've been doing it for 15 years, and it's like it's wild.
That's wild. That is.
Kind of like fun things that I do. I have a dog who is the best, super
The best baby.
His
I wish
name-
I could see him.
Upstairs right now with his dad, and he's just like they're like vegging out together right now. It's
chilling.
Yeah.
Cuddle time.
like oh my gosh, he's such a daddy's boy, I guess. Just
Aww.
like good cop, bad cop. I'm always the one like, no, what are you doing? And he's like, it's okay, baby.
I totally get it. He's the babyer.
Yes, but all good. But yeah, just fun things like I take part in CrossFit, spin cycle, all that stuff, hiking, everything, and just I don't know, loving life. That's it. Getting through the day.
Girl. Active. I love that. I really wanna, well, I guess we're gonna get to it. You have an amazing little business, as everyone who's watching on YouTube can see that nice little logo behind her and all those goodies. And also what I am wearing currently for those listening. It's a beautiful oversized hot pink tie-dye hoodie. So comfy, like the best.
I love it.
Oh, it's so good. So we'll tell the people a bit about your biz, girl.
Yeah, so my business is called Bleached Babes Canada, and it's kind of a play on words because I do bleach tie-dye, and then my hair is bleached, so kind of like so kind of a little bit of a play on words, I guess.
I like that.
And I started it in, I want to say September of 2020. So like the height of the pandemic. And I'm sure,
Yeah.
tons of people who have started businesses and things like that through the pandemic, because like we were bored as hell. So it's like, what
Yeah.
do? To be honest, I hated the job that I was at. Like I was so stressed out. Like just the way they kind of handled everything through COVID and all that stuff. I was like, I need an outlet. Mama needs an outlet to do this. Like, it was crazy. Like I wasn't sleeping. I had anxiety, and like I've always felt I've been kind of blessed to not have and experience that. And then now I'm like, oh man, this is what people mean when they say
what it is.
it.
You know, it's so funny. I experienced like depression, anxiety later in my life as well. Like growing up, I always was like, what do you like? You don't get it until you have it happen to you. So I totally feel you.
It's a totally weird feeling too. And I was like, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Like there's in my life, like what's happening.
Did you battle with yourself trying to like accept it? Because I found that was a struggle for me to say the words and be like, this is what I'm going through.
Totally. And I had like a big breakdown like in front of my husband too at one point. And I'm like, and he's like, this is nuts. He's like, I've never seen you this way. And he was concerned. So it was how he was living. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I don't know what happened. I was just scrolling mindlessly as one does on TikTok.
Yep.
And I kept seeing
especially during that time. It was like, oh my God, TikTok was like, boom.
Like, when you get notifications on your phone, it's like your scrolling has gone up, 80.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was 110. Like, it was so crazy. Yeah. So I just saw these people, doing tie-dye. I'm like, wow, that looks like so much fun. I feel like this is the new thing right now. And I literally just picked up a couple of sweatshirts and dyed them. And I posted about it.
I'm pretty sure I bought the first one, like the light pink one. I love it.
First people to buy some of my stuff. And I was like, this is insane. I'm like, I can't.
Oh, and it was gorgeous. I was like, I need this. And like, I love tie-dye my whole life. But in 2020, it was the trend. It still is, but like, that's when it exploded for sure. Yeah.
So, and like, I literally just posted about it and people were like, holy crap, can you make me one of those? And I was like, really? I'm like, okay. And then kind of just spiraled from there, and it's literally evolved so much. And like, now I don't just do like loungewear and activewear. I actually do, so not just loungewear, but like I have activewear now, which is kind of things. I have sports bras.
Those biker shorts.
Oh yeah, they keep snatched.
Snatched for the gods, and your ass, booty, the peach, whatever you want to call it, it's
popping.
It's popping. That's the only word for it. It is popping. Like I knew as soon as I got like the oh my God, I always say Lita. My God, I can't talk. Cheetah or leopard, whatever you want to. Do you call it leopard? Leopard print. Leopard print. Okay.
You can really call it whatever you want, though.
Yes. I have the sports bra and the shorts, and I got them, I think it was like coming into like last summer, and it was perfect. Like where I live in Vancouver, I walk all the time, and it's like just to throw that on and like feel like I still look cute, but I'm comfy. Yeah. That's winning for me.
So, I mean, and that was probably the scariest thing in this whole like journey so far, is evolving and doing that. Because before, I mean, sure, like you can always get sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff and tie dye it, and that's what it is. But like, that stuff in the activewear especially, it was all manufactured. Like I had to seek out a manufacturer, speak with them and try to design this. And I'm like, no, I want it at, this length, or I want it with this height, waist and everything.
That's so cool. That's so interesting to me. I can't wait to like learn more about that as you keep talking and telling us stuff.
It's nuts. And like, I went to school for marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff in school.
No.
Always just how do you market stuff? Yeah. And I mean, that was years ago.
Yeah. Same here. Like that's my major was marketing as well. And like, yes, what we learned was valuable. And like, I loved it. But when you look at the world now, even though like we didn't graduate like that terribly long ago, but it's changed so much. Like social media has totally changed how we market and how people buy, and like,
it's crazy.
But like you're saying, like, hunting out manufacturers and all that stuff. We didn't learn that.
No,
we didn't learn that shit.
No. I learned like how much a radio ad costs. Like I'm just like, like it's in a book, and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, I'm never gonna use this my entire life. And like, oddly enough, like I said, I went to school for marketing and advertising, but I've fallen into automotive, so it's complete polar opposites. It's very analytical, it's very numbers driven and all that kind of stuff. And I've always had that creative sort of
yeah.
and
just
to like
backstory, just so everyone knows, Crystal and I, we met like virtually, and then I'm sorry, like I hope I have squirrel brain, but I just have to tell her backstory. I don't want to lose my train of thought because I do that too. But anyways, we met virtually, and then my yoga instructor had organized like a yoga retreat in Costa Rica, and I obviously posted about it once I booked it. I was so excited, and Crystal was like, "Oh my God, tell me when the next one is." And I was like, "Why don't you just come on this one?" And she's like, "Okay."
I'm like, is there space? I will leave right now.
Yes. It was so perfect because like her and I connected so quickly and so easily. And we were just saying before we started recording, like we feel like we've known each other for forever. It's like one of those soul connections. So I told her, I was like, be prepared. I'm going to run and jump into your arms when I meet you. and I did.
I caught you.
You did. It was I'll never forget that meeting. It was so good.
Trip was.
But what I was going to say about your creativity was even meeting you then, like this girl, so fucking talented, like video stuff, like videography, like amazing. Like you can't fake that talent and you just naturally have it. So like I could see your creativity like just blossoming out of you with like all that cool stuff. I feel like I said it a million times. I was like, oh my God, this looks so cool. Like
it just, I don't know, I guess just my brain works in this way. Then I have this vision, like even before we left for that trip, I'm like, I want to record this trip and like have this memory, one, to not just have it for myself, but to have it for you guys too. Like I want you to remember that, and even just like, you know, catch you guys doing things that you might not even have known you've done, and just it makes it so much more magical. And
so
just
magical.
Like, that vision come out. And like I remember I was editing on the plane going home and I'm like bawling my eyes out.
Oh.
Like, this is the best trip ever. And like,
it was so good.
Everything, and just it was amazing. And now we have that little goodie to remember. So I hope
Crystal of the Lotus, right? Is that what you titled it as well?
Yeah.
Was it the jewel is in the lotus?
Jewel. Where's Vanessa when you need her?
I know, right?
I think it was the jewel is in the lotus.
Jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it was like Om Padme Ambi Om. Like I remember the chant we did because we said it so many times. But yeah, I love that. And like the video too, what Crystal did, like it was magical and natural and it flowed, and like she put this beautiful music with it. It's just like even if you're not a yogi, but if you're a yogi especially, you'll appreciate it. But
the scenery itself too, and just the things that we did along the way, it was so cool. We all got like tattoos too because we were that.
I started this thing like when I travel, not everywhere, but I do like to get a tattoo where I travel. So I was like, we're getting tattoos. And then Jessica booked it and we all went, and it was your first tattoo, right?
My first tattoo. Like I've never had a tattoo. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm down.
And it's gorgeous. I love it. You got the lotus, right?
Little lotus, like right here. I take my shirt off, but I'm.
We'd get lots of views.
It's like a fine line sort of outline of a lotus, which I love. And now I'm debating. I'm like, I have to get something on this side to sort of match it and do all that. So I'm still thinking and have some stuff in the air, but we'll see what happens. And maybe like a sun or a moon or something, or a play on both of that. Just kind of a little bit.
I love that. Right. You know me, I got lots of random tattoos, so I'm here for it.
Love it.
Yeah, girl. Sorry, I was like a squirrel brain moment, but I was like, I had to touch on our background and also how I saw her creativity before this. So once she started Bleached Babes, I was like, this just makes sense. Like it didn't surprise me at all. I was like, because you're not only like creative, but what I admire so much is like, I say organized, but everything you do looks so clean, and like your website, your marketing with even your Instagram, like how it looks, like that gets me going, like that kind of stuff. When things look aesthetically pleasing and I'm just like, ooh, this makes me happy to look at. Like it all flows.
Because I feel like sometimes I struggle with that and trying to make that feed look like a certain way or have a certain aesthetic or a certain feel. And like that can be stressful for a lot of times. So I have to like reminding myself, I'm like, you know what? Don't necessarily just post because it's going to match the feed, but post from your heart and what you want people to notice about this brand. Like, you know, customer feedback, or just like you're really proud of this new design you've made. Maybe it doesn't match necessarily with what your feed looks like, but post it anyways, right? Just product. So I have to get better at doing that because I feel like I am a little like, oh no, it has to match. But
Yeah, it's like that. I totally get that. And I have like slight OCD with stuff like that. So like it's like even this podcast, like my Insta's still very new, but there's definitely a very particular flow to it. And I'm like, it's gonna have to end eventually. Like it's not gonna stay this way forever, but we'll figure that out.
yeah. And it's true. And my feed has too. So like even if you scroll down, it's changed like a few times. And now I think before I'm like, what? I just want to make it easy. That's it.
Yeah.
Just so I can.
You know what I like to do is like just do things in groups of 3. Like on my personal one, groups of 3. I'm like, okay, we'll have groups of 3, but it doesn't matter how they work, how it but yeah, it's interesting figuring out the old feed.
And that's like another thing too, because like you said, like we both did marketing and advertising so long ago, they didn't teach us how to do social media marketing or anything like that. So I'd be curious to know what school would be like now, as opposed to back like 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, when was I in college? I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's so different now.
Totally. Like I would same as you. I'm like so curious. I'm like, like obviously the basics are the same, but like how it's implemented, like totally different. Like I would eat that up. Like it would just be so I feel like, you know, it's great that there's so many resources out there you can learn, but like sometimes it's hard to self-teach. Like it's nice to have someone actually teach you. Like
it's overwhelming for sure. So I'm like, so I have like a Cricut machine, which does all the vinyl cutouts and things like that. I have a sewing machine. I have an embroidery machine. I'm like, hell no, I didn't know how to use these 2 years ago. I literally self-taught myself how to use everything. I watched like
amazing.
YouTube, did everything. Like when I say handmade, like I am literally like in my sweatshop down here, like doing stuff. And like I have gone like, and I've worked till like 1 or 2 in the morning trying to prepare for stuff because like I'm just one person. That's it.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
great. But
it's so cool because like I admire that so much because like obviously I love clothes and creativity, but I feel you even with this podcast. I'm like, I am the talent, the producer, the editor, the this, and it's like it's a lot because and I didn't know how to do any of this either. I was like, well, here we go, Google. So let's do this.
I saw this meme and it was like, if you see me talking to myself, don't worry, I'm just having a staff meeting. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me. So perfect.
Present.
It's literally like every aspect of it. But I mean, that's what makes it so interesting. And like, you grow and you learn. And like what your business was 6 months ago, if it's still the same in 6 months time, like maybe you're not learning as much as you could to evolve and to grow and adapt and do all that stuff. Because again, like everything changes so quickly these days. You don't really know what to expect, but as long as you can keep kind of rolling with the punches and keep moving forward, then I think your business
I love that.
Be successful.
Yeah, that's such great. Like she's already spitting words of wisdom, guys. But I love that you have that mindset because it's like you're not trying to just stay the same. You're like let's go, like let's evolve, let's grow. And I feel like in life, that's what I strive for. So I love that you apply that to your business. Like that's so good.
That's awesome. It's it's been a wild ride, to be honest. I had no expectation that it would even get to where it is today. And by all, I'm not saying it's like I'm doing like, 6 figures of a business kind of thing. Like this is still very much part-time, but it's very much part-time in that I still love it. I'm still having fun. And it's not becoming overwhelming where I can't focus on my full-time job and it's taking away from like doing life and all that stuff. Like it's making me have an outlet to de-stress, which is great. And other people happy too. Like when I hear people like, holy crap, those leggings I just bought from you are the best entire life. Or that, sweater, I haven't taken it off in 6 days because it's so comfy. To me,
legit. Legit.
That's what it's for. And I love that.
Right.
That to me, that's the best feedback and reward of a business, as a small business, any business that you can possibly get.
Absolutely. Oh, I literally could not agree more. Like the support, and it's like you said, you're bringing people joy, like you're leaving your impact in a positive way. You also get to be creative, which is your heart and soul. Like you get to be passionate and express yourself. And like you said too, the whole reason, not the whole reason, but one reason was, for your mental health. And like people need to remember, like doing something creative, no matter what it is, paint a picture, sing a song, whatever. It can be so therapeutic. Like, do you find that
Yeah.
when you're making stuff, it's like therapy?
Yeah. Even like cooking. Cooking can be like therapeutic.
Yeah,
Like just anything.
totally.
But yeah,
Yep.
definitely. It honestly, I feel like starting this, as crazy and busy as it was, saved me from like my feelings of anxiety and everything. And like it just forced me to get out of that slump and that
Yeah.
feeling of like, I'm not going anywhere. This is terrible. What is happening with my life? Like I'm in peril. Oh my God. And it put a smile on my face, and that kind of got me out of that funk and pushed me to do other things and, change my career. I'm still in automotive, but just with a different
Yeah.
way better company.
Yay.
And it's just everything from there has just been, I'm grateful. If I had
I
to put
love
it in,
that.
super grateful.
That's the word, grateful. That's beautiful. And like a lot of times too, with all the pandemic and things that happened, sometimes people could get stuck on that loop of negativity with it. But even though, oh my God, I went through some significant life changes, but even though some of those were painful for a bit, it was so worth it. Like I feel the same, like just so grateful, like where I'm at now, and I'm with like the man that I love the most. And I'm like, this is how you're supposed to be loved. Like, this is what it is. And it's just like wild to me. And I'm living in a city that I've dreamt of living in for years. Like, my soul has just been called to Vancouver for so long. And I'm not saying this wouldn't have happened without the pandemic, but I feel like it jump started it. Like, it made it go faster in a good way. And I think like it's just important for people to bring it back to like, what are you grateful for from this? And like, look what you've made a whole business for yourself. Like, it's amazing.
It's definitely wild. It's crazy. And like, and just, it's really cool too. So once like the community that sort of is surrounded and everyone's in like that shop local and, shop through your community and things like that, the people who I've met, who I never would have had the opportunity to meet before, are just incredible. They're so helpful. They're always willing to like lend a hand if you need something. And I guess you could say I'm on like the market circuit, I guess.
Yeah, girl.
I have people now reaching out to me, asking me to be in their markets, not so much me reaching out to people. So I don't know if that
You're
just
in high demand.
but it just keeps like, just so you know, like keep pushing forward and never give up. Because I mean, there's also that time where you think it's like imposter syndrome. I guess that's the term. Where you're like,
Girl, yes.
what is happening? How am I still doing this? Like, how am I getting away with doing this? There's been so many times I've done a tie-dye and I'm like, this looks like shit. Who the hell would wear this? Because this looks trashy. And then I'm like, you know what? I have to just put my mind out of it. I send it, and then that person calls me like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, right? So what somebody else might love. So I have to just keep that in mind and go for it. But yeah, the community in this area is just incredible, and that's really helped as well. And it just makes you want to do more things. Like I've been with this business, like donate over $1,500 just in like different things. Like I think last Christmas I donated almost like $750 to the food bank.
Oh wow, that's so great.
I mean, like, and that's given me the platform to do that, where I wouldn't have had the money to do that necessarily from my own just like time job. But I'm like, I'm not doing it just to, get rich. That's not it's not my goal.
It's a passion project. Like, this is coming from your heart and soul. Like, this is Crystal on a hoodie. Like, it's it's beautiful.
But it's just for me to be able to give back a little bit too, and help other people. That to me is great too. So this has given that sort of avenue and that outlet to do that as well and just help other people. So, and it kind of like spirals, right? It's like when you see someone doing something good, you want to do good too. And that hopefully inspires other people to do the same.
I love that so much. I'm like, yes, say it again for the people in the back. Preach, preach. I love that so much. What are you drinking? It's pretty and pink.
It's pink. It's like, the water enhancers. It's pink lemonade.
Oh, yes. Yum. It looks cute. It matches my beautiful crew.
I was going to put it in a wine glass and be like, no, but
be all fancy.
Wine glass. It's in my in my pub glass.
There you go. I love that. How do you like continue to be inspired? Like, where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh my gosh. I kind of just think like, what would I want to wear?
Yeah,
Actually.
totally.
And I'm just like, do I think this is cool? Like, are people gonna like this? And honestly, sometimes I've made stuff that I think is like the shit, and everyone's gonna want to buy this, and like it totally flops. Like no one buys a single, and that happens. So there's really, I mean, you can go on like Etsy and Pinterest and kind of see what the trends are, and the color
Mhm.
seasons change all the time, right? And you never
Yeah.
know, but you just keep trying and seeing what might work and get feedback from customers and people and friends and family and see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Do you ever like order like test products and get like your friends and stuff to try it on and like obviously you can try it on too, but
I do, so more so for the activewear stuff that I did, like the
yes.
leggings, because I'm very particular with what I put on my
Mhm.
body. For one, like I do really,
Mhm.
it's like you do F45, right?
Yeah.
And like you're bouncing around, jumping around, squatting, whatever, doing all that stuff. Like you need good activewear that's gonna stay
Yes.
on
And
stage.
like I got the curves and swerves, you got the curves and swerves.
Yeah.
We need to I like if when my pants are falling down, it makes me rage. I'm like, stop it. I'm in the zone. Like I'm trying to do something. Like I
Yes.
don't like when my active wear is not working with me. I'm like, no,
And
no. Like,
totally. And I just feel like if your pants are falling down, like your whole workout's ruined because that's all you're thinking about. I'm like, that's
yes,
zone in on. I'm like pulling up my pants the whole time. So yeah,
totally.
I remember I think my first activewear launch, I probably spent like maybe $700 to $800 just doing samples. Because you never know
Wow.
what you're gonna get once you get them. You think you might know, or the manufacturer is like, oh, this is the material, it feels like this, but until you actually get it and have it and put it on your,
Mm,
never know. So I went through quite
cool.
a bit of that, but the second time, so this launch I just had for spring in April, or was it March? Again, same thing. It wasn't as much because I'd already gone through the process and found good manufacturers and things like that. So it was a little bit easier. But again, you never know what you're gonna get because they can still screw up the order. And they did. Ha! It was very stressful trying to get all that stuff. So the in terms of like the material, all three pairs were kind of like different, but at the end of the day, as much as I stressed out about it, I was like, you know what, this might actually be a blessing because I'm going to have
Mhm.
different materials for different types of workouts. So like Lulu
Yes.
doesn't have the same material for all of their pants, right? So I was like,
Mhm.
actually this might work. So I kind of turned that negative into the positive and spun it that way
Yeah.
and like make use of this. So I'm actually super happy with all the leggings that I have now and the different materials with it. It's wicked.
That's so cool. Oh my God. Like, I love clothes. I love activewear. I love everything. So this is just like so interesting to me. And I feel anyone else who's listening who enjoys that, it's just, it's cool. It's cool to learn about like the process.
Yeah.
How does it get from where it began to your body? Like, this is
Yeah.
cool. Like,
It's cool. And you have to work out like how are you going to ship it? How are you going to pay duty? How and like all that stuff, right? So there's just other factors you have to think about getting it from overseas to here because obviously again, like as much as I would love to have something that's made in Canada or even
mhm.
made in the US, like something that's kind of somewhat local, it's just not feasible for a small business. So you kind of have to go
Yeah.
overseas and do that, right? So it's just again more things you learn about and take it
Mhm.
like just grow with it.
That's so cool. And like when you have days where you feel off or like not I don't want to use the word defeated or anything like that, but like we all have days, right? Like
Yeah.
do you have any like tips that help you kind of come out of that?
Honestly, just listen to your body. If you really seriously feel burnt out, I'm not saying you should quit, but you should just take that time off and maybe like shut down your business for a week or something just to sort of like maybe regroup or you maybe reorganize. Sometimes that's kind of what it takes to kind of get out of that funk. And if you're not
Mm,
busting your ass trying to get orders out and everything and doing all that and just you're going to burn yourself out, if you can take that time off to reset, it'll make you a stronger, business person going down the road.
yes, I love that. I feel like having the right mindset is so key in entrepreneurship because it's all you. Like as you and I attested to,
Yeah.
it's all you. Nobody's there making you do this. Like obviously it's stuff you want to do, like you feel good and you're passionate about it, but we're all human. Like you're gonna have those days where it's like, oh, like I don't want to, or I'm like you said, burnt out or whatever.
And I've
And
had
I've
those
gone,
days. I
yeah.
been through it. I've multiple times, not just like it's once and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
no, there's been times where I'm like, this is a lot, especially around like the Christmas time and leading up
Yes.
holiday season. That's the busiest time of the year. And I'm just like, I need to take a vacation from this. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
when, like January, February rolls around when it's not so busy, and I just sit back. I'm like, holy smokes,
I can breathe.
I can breathe. But at the end of the day, like I still think back. I'm like, holy man, like I'm so grateful that I even had the opportunity to do that. Like people opened my packages on Christmas Day. Like that's
Oh, I love that.
like that's just the coolest thing ever.
And
Oh,
she has the best packaging too. Like again, I love, like I said, I love aesthetically pleasing things, but like she puts the extra effort into, I love that. When I buy from a small business, like when Crystal writes me a note, I feel special. And I think that's just like such a small, simple thing, but it means so much because it's
it goes a long
personal,
way.
right?
100% it goes a long way. Like I even do my own packaging. Like I'm sitting there
Yes.
and like I screen print on my mailers and stuff like that. Cause again, I've looked into getting, your own mailers and stuff done. And to have somebody else do it, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Do a whole podcast of like training and how to do like teaching people how to do their own DIY stuff, right? And it just all that creativity has been just again, it's that outlet for me that's really, helped me through this pandemic, which has been
Totally.
insane.
Oh my God, yes. And like, it's just such good stuff too. Like that's the best part. I'm like, Crystal doesn't do things halfway. Like when she goes in, she goes in. Like,
Again, I'm like, would I wear this? I'm like, yes, I would. Very
oh
much so.
yes, I would, girl. I love that. Do you have a favorite item?
Ooh, I would probably say I love my new hot pink leggings.
Mm-hmm.
So nice. Like super high waist, they don't roll down, and it's like I don't even know how to explain the color. It's like
Is it
it's like
called dragon fruit on your
dragon.
website?
So
I
like
feel
literally,
like that's the perfect
yeah.
name.
Like if you're at the grocery store and you see a dragon fruit, it's literally that color pink.
That color. It's like a
I-
beautiful, like pinky, magenta-y, like it's gorgeous.
They make your
Gorge.
ass look insane.
That's what we want.
Like you're
My
just
man loves this booty, so we got to enhance it.
I love it. Oh, they're so much fun. And then honestly, I love my beanies, the tie-dye
The
beanie.
hat,
They're so
yes.
comfortable. And I literally wear that nonstop. Like I was gonna wear it tonight because I'm in my
Yes.
basement dungeon and it's freezing down here. Like I have a blankie, like everything. It's so crazy. But yeah, that just comfort statement pieces, which is great.
Yes, and like I'm definitely a toque beanie girl, like especially here in Van, like
Mm.
it rains a lot, and also I have a dog. I have to go outside all the time. I
Yeah.
don't look like the people who live around me are probably sometimes like, what does this girl wear? Because I'm just like throwing the hat on. I'm like, I'm not doing my hair. Like it's not happening.
Oh man. Is Benson lying down already? He's been
He's
calm.
literally staring lovingly at me, just like I want to show you because he looks so cute.
Oh, I just want to eat his face.
I know he does the best little baby face, and I'm just like, I can't even deal with your cuteness. Oh my, like I can't even look at him right now. If for anyone who's not watching, he's literally like giving me the eyes, like the cute little puppy eyes.
Like, Mom, pay attention to me right now, please.
Oh my God, you guys! Like before we started this recording, he was like behind me on the couch because anytime like if I'm talking to someone, he's like, well, hello, this is my house, I am here,
Yeah.
pay attention to me.
Yeah, he essentially mauled you with hugs and kisses, which I mean, it's not a bad way to go. If that
No, I'll take it, I will take it. Oh my God, he knows I'm talking about him. Look, he's coming.
Yeah. He's like,
and here he is. Everyone on YouTube, you're getting the visual.
I love it.
Have you seen the video? It's like I don't go on TikTok anymore, but I think it was a trend. It was using the Mrs. Doubtfire, help is on the way. And like it had all these different animals running, and there was one of a Bernese Mountain Dog. I laughed so hard.
I don't even know how that app is free sometimes, honestly. I'm just like, the content that's on there, it just, oh my goodness. It's crazy.
I know.
It's
So
just
entertaining.
times. Like there's been times I've literally had tears running down my cheeks because I'm laughing so hard. And then I send it to my husband and he's like, what is this? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
They never get it. They don't find things as funny as us. And I'm like,
No,
it's hilarious. You're
no.
gonna love it.
Oh, so fun. So fun. My
Do you
goodness.
have like a vision for the future for your biz? Like, do you have certain things you want to see happen, or are you just kind of riding the wave?
I would love to have some of my stuff in a storefront. Not necessarily,
Cool.
maybe not my own storefront, because that would be nuts. And I don't think I could do that right now, just working full time, but definitely
Yeah.
like where someone does a wholesale order or something and they literally have it in their storefront. That would be the most wildest, like full circle thing I could possibly imagine. Like literally have gone from my basement to having
Yes.
in a store. So actually last Christmas I did a market and it was in the mall of like in my city, and just even to be inside of a mall where people are shopping for Christmas and like coming through and purchasing my stuff, it was just a really surreal experience, thinking like for all my life that's where I've gone to buy clothes. I've gone to the mall
Yeah.
stuff, and like now my items are literally inside of a mall. That's so cool. So
It
that if
is so cool.
amazing. Like I would love to support like even just a small business downtown in my city.
Yeah.
Like having a couple items, that would be so cool.
So cool. Manifesting, putting it out there now. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
put it out there.
Oh, it's so cool. And like your business has grown in my mind, it's grown so quickly and so much like I said before, like you always are evolving. Like it's awesome because every time I look, you've got something new or you have a different like a sports bra or you have like a different type of clothing, not only the style, like whether it be tie-dye or whether it be embroidered or whatever. It's always new items, new looks, and it's just I just see such big things for you. It makes me so happy that
Thank
you're so
you.
happy doing this.
I love that. And I this whole thing of like, oh, women have to fight with each other, all that stuff. No, get that out of your brain.
Nuh-uh.
Like, babes support babes. You have to lift each other
Yep.
up. All on the same, like, we're on the same trajectory. Like, we're all going.
Yes.
As long as I can help someone else get up there with me, perfect. I will always
I
do that.
agree. Oh my God. Yes. Hype Queen loves that. I'm like, yep. It's true because there's room for everyone. And like, even if people are in the same market as you or niche as you or whatever you want to call it, there's still room for everyone because nobody's you. You are unique. We all are unique. We all have our own beautiful little soul in here, and someone will resonate with you. And it's
100%.
awesome.
There's actually
Yeah.
there's a couple like TikTok accounts that I follow that kind of started way before me and doing all this, and I kept seeing what they were doing and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, if they're doing it, I can totally do it too. So that's kind of another
Yeah.
part of it as well. And I remember I reached out to them and like messaged them. I'm like, hey, I'm like, just wanted to say like you're the one of the reasons that I started doing this, and they're all like female owned brands, like they do tie-dye and stuff like that. And they're like, yes, queen, we love to hear.
Oh.
And again, it's like they're nowhere, like they're not my competition. They are my friends. Like, and we've sort of
Mhm.
much doing all this stuff too, which is really cool. And it's amazing to see how they have evolved. Like one business has just like taken off. It's crazy.
Wow.
And
That's
it's like,
so cool. That makes me very happy that you guys have that bond and like that sisterhood. And it's so true because like it's flattering. Like if someone messages and says they did something or they were inspired because of something, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like let's
Yeah.
go. Let's motherfucking go.
even like with your podcast, like how did that even transpire? Like did someone inspire you to do this? Like how did
Uh, it's been like many years actually. It's just been something that I've always thought would be a cool thing to do just based on my personality and what I enjoy. And like I've been told by like they're psychic mediums, but they're like, do you
oh
sing? I'm like, I was like, I do, but not well. But they were like, your voice, they're like, you need to use your voice to heal people. And I was like, and I never forgot that. And I always have been interested in the entertainment industry, and I used to want to be an actress for the longest time, like all those things. And I'm like, how do I spread my light? Because that's what I know I'm here to do, is to help people feel less alone and know that they are loved. And I'm like, I want to be that light for people. And yeah, literally it was years of me being afraid and being like, not like I had this equipment for a year before I actually recorded. Like it was wild, but I truly believe in like the divine timing of things too. Like I was healing from a lot of other things in different areas of my life, and I feel like those things had to be healed before I was ready to do this. And I just think it really was the right time. 2022 was my year. I was like, okay, this is it. It's happening. I'm just going to do it. I'm like, stop standing in your own way. Cause that's what I was doing. I was so scared. I just wouldn't do. Like, you know, you like halt your tracks. I'm like, girl, because I'm so brave in so many other ways. And I'm like, why are you not doing this? Like, you're going to get joy from it. What are you doing? Like, you're not getting joy from your job. So you need like that same excuse or not, but like, this is like my outlet and like how I want to connect and leave my impact. So yeah, my long ass winded story, but that's kind of how it came to be.
I feel like it's the fear of sucking, right?
Mm-hmm. And being vulnerable and like judged, that kind of gets to me too. I'm like, cause like I'm opening myself and like it's room for people to be not nice if they want to, but I've had to build myself up. Like I've had to thicken my skin because I'm a sensitive little soul over here. But it's been nothing but love. Like the people who are in this audience are just like the best freaking audience. I'm talking to you, tea drinkers. Like you're just, it's been so much support. Oh, I guess like I was on a podcast in the summer of 2020, but I wanted to do it before that. But when the guy reached out to me to be on one, I was like, oh my God, yes. And it kind of made me feel more confident, like I should do this. And then when I did it and it came out, a girl that I know, she's like, you have to do this. Like, so I got a little bit of that like positive confirmation from others too. Not that you need that, but it was kind of nice because like sometimes you don't believe in yourself or you know what I mean? Like you don't feel confident. I didn't anyway.
What's the thing? Like I said, it's like the fear of sucking and like who cares, right? Even if you suck, everyone sucks when they start because they don't know what the hell they're doing. But the more you practice and the more you do it, you learn those skills and then you just go with it. And again, it's gonna change over time. Like I'm super pumped to see what happens in like 6 months, to a year with this podcast and how it evolves and everything. And just the first time I heard it and you had like your little intro music, I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, this sounds so professional. I'm like, this is amazing. And like,
oh my God,
listen to them too, especially the body positivity one.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm like driving in my car. I'm like trying not to cry, going to a meeting. I'm like, I've been in all of these positions before. I've like talked to myself that way. So it's like, it really just resonates. I loved it.
That's it, right? And like it's those topics that like I think they're talked about a lot more now, but like when we were young, they were taboo. Like people didn't talk about that stuff, and it's affected us. And I just was like, you know what? I'm bringing light to these things because if I've been through this, I know other people have, and like. Sure. From social media, people show you the highlight reel. You don't know sometimes what people have been through. And I feel like as a person, I generally put out bubbliness or like, it's just my personality type. But my God, I'm a feeler of the fields. Like it doesn't mean that I haven't had things happen, but it's just how I choose to show up.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing
it makes me so happy.
Radiate
positivity. Thank you. Oh, it's so good. I love this. Do you have any like top 3 tips for entrepreneurs who want to like go for it?
Oh, I would say, just start. One.
Just do it.
I mean, everyone says that, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, but how? But how? Honestly, just start. It doesn't matter where you start. Just start. You will learn as you go. It's never going to be perfect. And it doesn't have to be. No one is going to know that it's not perfect except yourself.
Yep.
So that's it. And then be consistent. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep doing and growing, and you have to invest in not even just your business, but invest in yourself as well. Because you can't. Yeah, and then that was like the scariest thing to like drop the credit card on like a bunch of activewear that I had no idea would sell. I'm like, this is the scariest thing ever. But even if I fail, like it's a lesson learned. You will find work. So yeah.
I love that.
So what did I say? Stay consistent. Just do it.
Just do it. Yep.
Believe in yourself and invest in yourself. Because like, if you don't believe in your product, how do you expect other people to believe in your product?
Yep. And it's because you are the shit. And like, believe it. Believe you're the shit. Because Crystal can really, I've struggled with self-esteem my whole life and confidence and things like that. And I've noticed in life when I just stop my bullshit, put that away, and just let myself be and be myself, and I stop thinking so much about everything else, that's when the magic really happens. Like, it just comes out. And, like, it's natural. And that's the most beautiful thing, when it's just natural and it just comes out. And that's when you know too, like, you're on the right path. Like, even though, yeah, this podcast took me years to actually hit the record button and I was scared as shit, I just knew. I was like, I know this is where I'm going and this is what I need to do. And I have squirrel brain 1000. Like, I have 5,000 ideas all the time. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And like, you can't do that. Like, you have to pick one thing, start with it, and then see where it goes.
Exactly. I agree. I'm pretty, like, for me, I'm pretty sure I'm like undiagnosed ADHD, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like self-diagnosed. But yeah, it just, again, with the business, like always wanting to make designs and things like that, it just, I want to do everything. And like I said, sometimes designs I've done have just completely flopped and whatever, that's it. You don't have to make them again. And there's some that have done really, really well. So again, you don't really know what's going to be there. Just life is a surprise. Just roll with it.
Yes.
And just go with it. And you can't control it. So just let it go, ride the wave. That's it.
Ride the wave. I friggin' love that, because it's just so true. And like, in life, sometimes we try so hard to squeeze something so tight and control it. And I'm like, you can't, you gotta let it breathe. Did you ever see that movie Couples Retreat? Well,
I think so, yeah.
It's hilarious. And I call him Mr. Chow because that's how I know him. It's the Mr. Chow from The Hangover. I don't know his name. Anyways. Ken.
Okay, whatever.
Yes, him.
I think that's his name, yeah.
He's a therapist in the movie, like for one of the couples, and he's talking about this analogy, and I've literally never forgot it, hence why I'm saying it now. He's like, when you love that puppy and you want to squeeze it so tight, ooh, you break the puppy's neck. Like, but that was like his analogy for like, you can't smother someone, or like you have to let people breathe. But the same with like life. You have to breathe. You have to let go. Just let it go. Just do it.
I love that.
Don't break the puppy's neck.
Don't break the damn puppy's neck. There will be people after you.
There will be consequences for that. Oh my gosh. Do you have any final words of wisdom?
Okay.
You dropped some pretty good tips on us there with those 3 tips. Those were great.
I wrote something down, so I'm going to go to my book. So this is what it is. So with every success story is one of constant adaptation, revision, and change. Without this, you cannot grow, you can't learn. So believe in yourself, but believe in your product, and the confidence will attract what you seek.
Oof, I just got goosebumps everywhere. That was powerful AF. Oh my God.
I love that. So yeah,
I love that.
And just if you believe in it, the power, what you want and what you seek will come to you.
It's true. I'm a firm believer in like that law of attraction, and like it all starts with you. You have to believe it. You have to feel it. You have to smell it. You have to be grateful for it. You have to all the things. And I say if it's meant for you, but I do believe that too. What's meant for you will not pass you by, but it is also a combination of your actions, and those things will, like 100%. Crystal, like it'll multiply into where she's at now. Like it's wild. Like, and if you asked 2020 Crystal if you thought you would be here now with this biz, would you believe it?
Oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. But here we are. It's now 20, right? And like we're still going. We are in this train and we are headed like to the
full steam ahead.
And another thing, like people might not always believe in you. Like I did have some people who are like, what are you doing? This is the dumbest thing ever. And I'm just like, go away with you and like, hey. Because really,
I love what you just did there.
Like rolled up a ball of paper and like,
yeah,
like get out of here. That's the thing. Like someone is always going to be like jealous of what you're doing or might not understand what you're doing because they just can't see themselves doing that. Who cares? They're not for you. Like throw them away. It's fine. Just do what you want to do for yourself.
Yes, girl. Yes. I'm just like all the wisdom. People are going to be listening to this on repeat, rewinding it. I want to listen to like that thing you read again. I'm going to be like when I'm editing, I'll probably repeat it back a couple times because it sounded amazing.
I was like, put on my good voice too. I'm like, hi, my sultry voice.
You did
like,
too.
And that turned into like an ASMR thing and we're like just going with the voice.
I love ASMR. I am here for it. Oh my God, we're gonna have to do an episode with just our funny voices.
Oh, I can do so many.
Oh my God, I'm way too excited right now. And when I get excited like this, I get louder and like bigger, and I'm just like, I feel it right now. Oh
Love
my
it.
God, I'm so happy that we got to do this. It's
Me
been,
too.
well, I mean, it's been a really long time since we've physically seen each other, but it's so great. We're lucky we do have the old Skype to connect with.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So I guess too, how can people find you? Because they gonna be wanting to get their hands on some goodies.
Awesome. So I am on all the socials. So if you type in Bleached Babes Canada, you can find me on Insta, Facebook, TikTok, and then also by heading over to www.bleachedbabescanada.ca. I have a fully functioning website that you can browse and do all that stuff and see all the goodies online.
And also, if they're in your area, is there any markets coming up or?
There might be a market coming up in June. Like I'm not entirely sure just yet. They're kind of still in the works. It's actually going to be kind of
Yeah.
going to be at like a baseball diamond, like
Cool.
our local like not pro team, but like semi-pro
Yeah.
team. So
Yeah.
like you go to a market, take in a baseball game. So I'm not sure about that, but I'll get back to you and let you know.
Yeah. And also, Crystal's really great for posting about that on her socials too. So, like, if you do live in the area, just keep an eye on her Instagram because she always shares.
Always share.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Like, I'm so grateful that we made our time difference work. You're here and you've just shared so much awesomeness with everyone today. And I know everyone's going to love it. And I can't wait to see them all heading over to your website because it's just the best.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Again, like I was like, I get to do a podcast. This is the coolest
Yeah,
thing.
girl.
And again, this is just the cool, like some other ways that this business can, it brings things into your life that you never thought you could do. So I'm super thankful that you thought of me, and I was so happy to get to chat with you.
Of course. Oh, we love it. I'm sure they'll want you on again. So this was so great. We're going to call that tea time for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, wishing you love and light, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.